welcome to Zigmag Tech Learning Hub. I'll be your instructor for home economics. Now for this class, we're going to be taking our exercises from the ExamGuide app. If you don't have the application already installed on your device, I would want you to download that app in order to follow along in our class. Now ExamGuide is a leading educational app that helps students prepare for various exams such as UTME, post-UTME, WEAC, GCE, KCPE, IJMB, JUPEB, KCPE, VERSA, GSE, NCE, NECO, and a whole lot of other professional exams. Now you can download the app from www.examguide.com, or you can actually go to Google Play Store and download it. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be updated when we send in new videos. And you can also tell your friends about this app so they can also benefit from it. Now, you ready for today's class? Let's get started. Okay, for today's class, we'll be looking at structures, parts, and functions of the human body. Now, by the end of this class, you should be able to define the hair, you should be able to define the eye, you should be able to define the nose, and also you should be able to state the structure and the functions of the hair, the eye, and the nose. Also, you should be able to list out the different types of hair that we have. Now, let me get you introduced to good grooming. Now, good grooming is forming personal hygiene for keeping yourself clean, neat, and attractive. Now, when we talk about the body, when we talk about the parts of the body, it covers every part of the body. And now there's one word we use for it, which is referred to as what? Good grooming. Now, this simply means, just take out a little time to care for yourself and actually look good. Now, your appearance is very, very important. Now, it tells a whole lot about your personality. Someone can actually look at you and tell you the type of person that you actually are by just looking at you. So it's very important that we take care of ourselves, because first impression matters. How would you feel someone comes up to you and for the first time and you say, this person has, the stench that comes out from this person is not good. So it's very important that we take care of what ourselves, personal hygiene, which covers the parts of the body. Now let's look at, let's start with the hair. We're starting from top to bottom. Now we're starting from the hair. The hair is one of man's greatest assets. Now, the hair is very, very important. It can be said to be defined as a fine thread-like strands growing from the skin of humans, mammals, and other animals. Now, it is what comes up. You see it in both humans and mammals and some other animals. It's the covering for the skin. That's what the hair does. So the hair is very, very important, and we have different colors of the hair, but all do serve the same purpose. It doesn't matter what color of hair that you have, they all do what? From the same purpose of which they are being made for. Let's look at the structure and parts of the hair. Now, what happens before you see the hair come up and on your skin, what happens in there? And now, if you look at the diagram we have there, you can see that this is the structure of the hair. Before it comes up, there's a process before you can now see the hair on the skin. Now, each hair grows from a narrow tube in the skin called hair follicles. Now, each follicle has a tiny oil gland near its base. The gland produces oil that lubricates the hair and softens the skin around it. Now, the structure of the hair shows that you find different aspects before you see the hair on your skin show up. Now that's the structure, what the hair is all about. as you can see on the picture there, or the diagram there, it tells you how and what the process is of the hair before you see it on the human skin or on mammals. Now, what is the function of the hair? It helps protect the head, against some frictions. Now, I saw a video of a woman cooking, and she bent down while she was cooking, and somehow her hair was caught on fire with the flames. And then it took some time before she was even able to know that she just started perceiving some smell, and before she realized that, oh, this was fire on my hair. Just imagine if that woman didn't have a whole lot of hair. What would have happened? There would have been a severe burn on her. And also it protects the head against what? Cold. We're going to look at that now. It keeps the head warm in cold weather. The hair keeps the head warm. And you find that for people that have full hair, they tend to be a lot warmer than those persons that have fewer hairs. Now, I remember an instance whereby, in church, then my baby was still very small. He didn't have hair. He was more like a Chinese boy. He didn't really have hair. So, and then we went to church. So he didn't have a head warmer or anything. So, and the AC was almost like directly where we are. He would scream and he was shouting. And I noticed that when I take him out, he'll be calm. Then when I bring him back to that same place, I noticed that the AC was getting to him, and because he didn't have hair and there was no head warmer, it got to him. So your hair can actually keep the head warm in cold weather. Now, it also improves personal appearance and adds beauty to a person. Yes, your hair is very important. Now, for the ladies, even for some men, when they keep their hair, it adds to your personal appearance and adds beauty to a person. When you now make it and plait it and make it look very beautiful, it adds that extra, it enhances beauty. So let's say it enhances beauty. Now, it extends our sense of touch. And also the hair extends our sense of touch as well. Now, it also creates an individual identity. The hair creates an individual identity. So what do we mean by this? Now, most people are known by the type of hair they make. Now, let's say for Alicia Key, you find out that she's always on braid. Then for the Jackson 5, they're known for their afro. So that is more like their identity. Now, which other person back here? Bob Marley, he's known for his dread. So your hair can also serve as what? Your identity for a whole lot of persons. We know them by their hairstyle, or their hair make. Now, when you come back to our, Nigeria, we look at DJ Copy. You see, when you see pink, you know that this person is what? DJ Copy. So it also creates an individual identity. Now, we have different types of hair. Different types of hair. So now let's look at the type of hair you have. Maybe you never knew. So in the course of this class, you know the type of hair that you have. Dry hair. We have dry hair. Now, this is dry, dull, and unattractive. It can result from insufficient production of oil glands, poor food, illness, and damage to the hair as a result of improper care. Now, all these can happen when you do not fake hair. You can actually have dry hair. Sometimes it's natural. Some people just have this dry hair, but some of the cause effects of this dry hair can be that, you're not getting a whole lot of nutrients that would nourish the hair. Or maybe you're sick. When someone is ill, it can affect the hair as well. Or maybe your hair is damaged because you're not taking care of it. Most people don't even comb their hair. You wake up in the morning, you just get along, and then you're not actually taking care of the hair. You need to feed the hair. Yes, I said feed the hair. You need to feed the hair. That's why we have hair creams and hair products, so you can actually keep the hair healthy. Now, another type of hair is the oily or greasy hair. The oily or greasy hair. Now, this occurs when the oil glands are overactive and produce more oil than is needed. Now, this happens when the oil gland produces more oil, and then, the hair is always oily. For most persons, they don't even have to apply, hair creams on their hair, because naturally the hair gland produces more oil for them. So that people can refer to say they have oily or greasy hair, and they, you know, everything, sometimes it can't stay a week or 2 weeks making their hair. They'll start itching and they'll have to go and make another one because of the produce of what? The oil glands, which are very, very hyperactive when it comes to the production of the oil in the scalp. Now let's look at another type of hair. Soft hair. Now this type is often light and can easily be blown about by the wind. Now, I think I can classify myself as someone that has very light hair, soft hair. Now, most people have soft hair. You know, it doesn't have weight. It's light, okay? And then this type of hair should be regularized. You don't just go about putting up your external relaxer. It will actually worsen everything. So this type of hair, you just nurture it. You can actually blow dry it in maybe once in a while for a very long time, because it's very soft and it can actually break easily. Now let's look at the next type of hair. We have the tough or coarse hair. Now Africans are likely associated with tough or coarse hair because we have this thick hair. Now this type of hair, when you talk about tough or coarse hair, this can be referred to as thick, and then you cannot as easily comb it. You know, before you comb it, you have to sweat it out before you comb this type of hair because it is tough. They are hard. So that is the tough or coarse hair. The next hair we have is short hair. Now some people can inherit short hair while others have long hair. Yes, some person's hair don't grow beyond a certain limit. It doesn't grow beyond a certain limit. By the time, okay, you do try and cut again, and then they say again, it gets to one limit, and that's where it stays. Now, sometimes it's genetics. Okay, most persons are that way. You do not grow your hair more than a certain stage. Meanwhile, some persons are naturally endowed with the hair. Okay, the hair is full, is long, very healthy hairs. Okay, this might be due to genetics, like I said, or people that actually invest in taking care of their hair to see that their hair is very healthy. Now, short hair. This is a very short hair and it can be inherited as well. The next one we'll look at is the long hair. Some people have and wear long hair. This type of hair can also be as a result of hereditary, just like we said, good food, proper care of the hair, long hair, and you know, they take proper care by keeping the hair tidy, plaiting or packing it. Now it is believed that if you keep your hair just without packing or making the hair, you tend to be losing your hair. Okay, so you have to take good care of it. For most persons that have long hair, naturally it is what they have, but you can actually make your hair to be long by actually taking proper care of your hair, by feeding it with the right hair product and also eating good food. Now we see a lot of things that people apply on their hair for their hair to be very healthy, such as natural fruits like avocado, you know, aloe vera, a whole lot of these. Now, whichever works for you. There are a whole lot of things when it comes to the hair. Now, you have to look at the type of hair. Before you start applying every of these remedies, recipes, or procedures on your hair, you have to know the type of hair that you have and the one that will work for you to attain the desired results that you're actually looking for. Now, for long hair, some people like wearing naturally, they like long hair. So whatever, even if they are fixing, they like the long hair. So some persons are actually blessed with this. Now, long hair is one of the types of hair that we have as well. Now, we're moving on to another part of the body, which is the eye. You know, like I said, we're going from top. Now, we're looking at the eyes. The eyes, let's look at what the eye is all about. Now, the eye is one of the 5 sense organs, and it is very, very sensitive. you have to be very careful when it comes to the eyes. Now, it is used for seeing. We use our eyes to see, and it is very important for normal life. Yes, it is well with those persons that don't have their sight, but for the fact that you have your sight, it is very important that you take care of it. Eat the foods that would help and aid good eyesight. Now, it also affects the physical appearance of people. Yes, it also adds to beauty. Now, when the eye is deformed, you can tell when you look at the person, it doesn't look good on the person. So the eye also affects an individual's physical appearance. As we can see on the diagram there, the eye anatomy, what the eye really looks like. Now, we see all, but we're going to be looking at some of them in the course of this class, the parts of the eyes. Now, let's look at the structure of the eyes. Now, the eye is made up of different parts. Each performs a special function. Now, when you understand all that these parts do, it will help you understand how delicate and how you should take out time to take care of your eyes. Now, let's look at the parts of the eyes. Let's start with the eyebrow. Yes, our eyebrow. So that is the eyebrow. This is our eyebrow for those persons that might not know what the eyebrow is. Now, what does the eyebrow do? It prevents sweat from running down into the eyes. So while you're sweating before it gets to the eyes, the eyebrow stops it. So that's what the eyebrow does. It prevents sweat from running down through the eyes. The next one we have there is the eyelashes. Now, today we have a whole lot of artificial lashes, and then we should be very careful with when it comes to the eyes, the things we put or the things that we should allow close to our eyes. And I met a scenario sometime in Yapa sometime. A girl was fixing her eyes, somehow the person that was fixing the lashes made a mistake or something entered her eye. She was screaming everywhere. And the persons were like, you see what you're causing for yourself. This could result to blindness. So we need to be very careful when we're having external lashes on. You need to go to a professional to do that. Now, what does our lashes do? They help protect the eyes from dust and dirt. As you're blinking, it helps protects the eye. So dust and dirt don't go into the eye. Now, the next one here is the eyelids. The eyelids. It can close to protect the eyes from foreign objects. The eyelids, it closes to protect. I see, the reflex action. If something is coming close to your eyes, what happens? You close it. That's the protection we're talking about. Now, the eyelids does what? Protects the eye from foreign bodies or objects. Now, eyeballs. Our eyeballs, those balls in our eyes. These are organs of sight. Without the eyeballs, there's no eye. You won't see with it. So each of these is connected to the brain by the sensory nerve, which is called the optical nerve. It goes in, that enables you to capture whatever you see as you look. The eyeball helps you to do what? Do that. Now, the next one is the cornea. Now, the cornea is a protective layout that keeps dust and dirt from passing through the pupil through to the eye. Now, it's also a protective layout. It doesn't allow dirt and dust to go in through the pupil to the eye. It's also a protective agent. Now, another part of the eye is the iris. Now, this is the colored part of the eye. Some have it in different colors. Yours might not be the same color you're seeing on the screen. We all have it differently. And people from all walks of life, from different works, we have them in different colors, but they all do the same thing. Now, this is the colored part of the eye. It surrounds the pupil. It can increase and decrease the size of the pupil. That's what the iris does. Now let's look at the next one, the pupil. The pupil. Now that black hole you see in the balls is referred to as the pupil. Now, it is the hole in front of the eyeballs through which light rays pass through to the eyes. So when you are looking at something, the pupil helps pass the information through to the sensory organ through the pupil. So it captures what? Rays and lights. Now, the lens. Another part of the eye we should be familiar with is the lens. Now, it's a glass-like part of the eye. It's a glass-like part of the eye. It focuses on light rays, and it forms the image that we tend to see. Now, today as well, people can actually fix up lens, different colors. People can actually put lens in their eyes. Like I said earlier, you need to be very careful when it comes to the eye because the eye is very, very sensitive. So you need to meet a professional to do some of these things that we call beauty to do, and be very careful with it. So that is the lens in our eyes. Now we also have the retina. It's also a part of the eyes. We have the retina. Now it's a light sensitive spot where image is formed. As you look at something, that's where it captures it. That's what the retina does. Now we also have the aqueous humor and the vitreous humor. They both keep the eyeball round. They enable the eye to maintain its shape. That's what the aqueous humor and vitreous humor does. Now we have the tear gland. The tear gland, tear ducts. Now it pours out tears over the front of the eye. The tear washes away the dust which enters the eye. So we can say sometimes it's good to cry. So because what happens, you're washing off dirt from the eyes. That's what the tear gland does. Now let's move on to another part of the body, which is the nose. The nose. Yes, let's look at what the nose is all about. Now the nose again is one of the 5 senses of the sense organs that we have. Now it is used for smelling. We use it to perceive a whole lot of things that happen, and it is very, very important for normal life. Very, very important. You can imagine being around somewhere and everybody's like, something is smelling, something doesn't smell good, or something smells good, and then you're not able to perceive or smell what they're actually talking about. So it's very important that, for us to have a normal life, that our sense of smell is active as well. Now it also affects the appearance of an individual. The nose can actually be a beautifying, how do I put it? It makes one looks beautiful. Now, if your nose, most times you look at people and look at your nose, and then because the nose and the face doesn't go along. Now, so the nose can be, something that makes people actually look good as well. It affects the appearance of an individual. If someone's nose is not looking too good, it affects the person's appearance. So let's look at the structure of the nose. Now, the very top of the nose consists of bones. Now, the rest is made of cartilage, small muscles, and skin lined with fine mucous membrane. Now, the nerves of smell, which runs from the nose to the brain, are called the olfactory nerves. That thing that helps you to perceive is referred to as what? The olfactory nerves. It helps pass the information. Whenever you perceive something, it sends it to the brain that helps you what? Perceive. So that thing is called the olfactory nerves. Now let's look at, you can see with the diagram we have there, like we said, the top part, which is had then the nostrils, the 2 holes you can see in your nose. Those are the nostrils. They're referred to as the nostrils. Now let's look at the function of the nose. Now, yes, one of the functions is the sense organ for smell. is the sense organ for smell. It acts as a passage or channel through which the air we breathe passes in and out to the lungs. Now, it is very, very important. As we breathe in and breathe out, we do that with the aid of what? The nose. So it's a channel that helps us to do what? Breathe in and not breathe out. Another function is that the air entering the lungs is filtered and warmed by the tiny hairs at the entrance of the nostrils. Now, if you notice in your nose, there are some hairs in it. Now, what those hairs does is that it helps to filter some of the dirt that would or should have gone in through the nose. So it helps. But I think most times a lot of people take it off. So when you're taking it off, please don't take them whole out, because they have a reason why they are there and what they do as well, as per their function being in the nose. Now we're going to take some practice questions from our ExamGuide app based on what we have learned so far. Okay, so we are here with our ExamGuide app. So let's practice some questions based on what we have learned in today's classes. Let's get started. Okay, let's look at this question. Which of the following is not a part of the eye? Which of the following is not a part of the eye? We have A, pore. B, we have iris. C, we have pupil. D, we have cornea. E, we have lens. Which of these is not a part of the eye? So we've learned that, isn't it? So can you give me your answer? Of course, your guess is as good as mine. Pore is not, because iris is part of the eye, and then pupil, cornea, and lens, they're all parts of the eye. So the option here that we're to go with is A, pore is not a part of the eye. Let's look at the next question. Okay, let's look at this question as well. You know, we talked about hereditary. So let's look at the units which carry hereditary factors in our body cells is called A, we have gene, B, antibody, C, sperm, D, hormone, and E, ovary. So the option that we should go with here is the gene as a unit which carries hereditary factors in the body. You know, with the one we talked about the hair, you know, that people can actually pick it up from their hereditary. So it can run through the genes of people for them to have what their parents had or their grandparents had. So this is the answer to this question. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's look at this question. Now, at the junior secondary school level, home economics is offered as A, we have cultural and creative arts. B, basic technology. C, pre-vocational studies. D, basic science. E, national value education. Now the option there is pre-vocational studies. That's the answer to this question. For junior level, they are taught as what? Pre-vocational studies. Let's move on to the next question. Now let's look at this question as well. Which area of home economics teaches a child about knitting and crocheting? We have home management, we have clothing and textiles, we have child development, we have foods and nutrition, and we have family living. Now, all these are what? Parts of what? Home economics. So now the question is, which part of these ones actually teaches a child how to knit and to crochet? Now, which of these? We find that in what? Clothing and textiles. It teaches a child how to knit, how to crochet. Thank you for participating in today's class. You can practice more questions using the ExamGuide app. Now the app scores and gives a detailed explanation of all the questions at the end of your practice tests. You can learn a particular topic of interest with different modes like the study mode, mock mode, and practice mode. It also has other features that make learning fun. It is a must-have for every serious student. I know you're that serious student. Now you can download the app from www.examguide.com. If you don't have it yet, please do. Now see you in our next class. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and share the videos to your friends, your family. I'm sure they'll benefit from it as well. Bye for now.